headlight. That's high beam on the stock KTM. That's the low beam and the high beam on the stock KTM 500. Welcome back, KTM fans. I am excited today because there's a company called LOYO lighting. They sell LED headlights for dirt bikes, some automobiles, Jeeps, and they're LED. Anyway, they hit me up and said they asked me if I would do an install video of their fancy headlight, LED, 65 watts, low beam, high beam, and driving lights. Now this light, I looked at it and it's built pretty impressive. It's a little bit dirty because I've been palming it with my mitts. But yeah, again, a 65 watt. So you do get high beam and low beam. A lot of the heavy duty, ultra stupidly bright lights, you only have a high beam and it's no good for the street. For the people in Canada, this is a DOT approved. So it's KTM approved. Anyway, what I like about this light is nice anodized aluminum K shell. There's a little hole back here. Pull this cover off. It's a little air hole. So if you get moisture built up, you take that off for an hour or two, all the moisture goes away. It is a sealed unit. Dust and water, not proof, water shielded, which means you can wash your bike and you're not going to damage any of the internal components. But so far, it's plug and play. Just plug that one right into your old harness. I'm going to do an install video on this. The box itself, very basic, very informative, LEDs for KTMs. It'll do, I'm pretty sure it'll do the 350, the 500, and the Huskies. Gives you all your dimensions. Here's your driving light, just the outer two. Your low beam, your outer two driving lights, and the two smaller ones, and the high beam is everything all at once. I think that looks really cool. More dimensions. Nice cool box. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, we're going to change the headlight. I don't know if you've ever done this on these KTMs, but it's very simple. Should only take a few minutes. There's these rubber straps right here. I don't know if you can see that, but my mirror in the way. I'll fold that. Pull that off. Come over to the other side. Same thing. Pull the strap. This gets, well, not tricky, but you just gotta watch out for it. You gotta take your clutch or your brake and your throttle cables and stick it behind. And your whole mask is just gonna lift right up and come out this way. The next thing is there's these screws here, 1, 2, and this one right here for your adjustment. You got to take those off. Typical KTM, I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's a Torx. Because this plugs into plastic, they don't have to be very tight. They just have to be snug. I believe it is, see my numbers are marked off, so I can't even tell you what size it is. It's the only one that's going to fit. See, it's just plastic, so you just got to be careful. Undo these two. We're going to put these aside on a nice fancy piece of plywood here so we don't lose them. Do your adjustment. Okay, we'll get that right here like this, nice and straight. And the nice thing about installing this headlight is you don't have to take off your signal lights. You don't have to unplug your headlight from the mask. None of that stuff. Just find your wiring harness. There's a little tab. Just push down. Pull that right out. This is not tricky, but you just gotta be a little bit careful when you pull this out because it doesn't just pull straight out. These tabs here, kind of pull them back with your fingers, move it back out that way, and lift straight out. There's your old headlight. See, bulb is still attached. Nice wiring harness. Put that aside because you never know when you're going to need it. And now, where'd the good stuff go? Oh, there it is. When you get this headlight, it also comes with a product manual. This gives you your specs. It explains about the back and how it's all fancy aluminum. It gives you your measurements. And it gives you a basic install. Now this headlight is going to go in exactly the opposite as you took that one out. You still have your adjustment, and it still screws into from here into there. But we'll get into that in a minute. Putting this in, you drop the back in. This takes a little bit of finessing. If you got a squeamish stomach, don't look. There. A little brute force and ignorance. Yeah, that's not true. It's a very, very easy install. And if I'm not mistaken, in the box, it also comes with an extra set of screws. But these ones won't work. I need these ones. I need the stock ones. Very easy to do. You can do this blindfolded. Put that screw in there, like so. The threads they're not tight, they're proper, which is good because this way they won't come loose from the vibration and all the hard riding I'm going to do when I go through the woods now that I can see where I'm going. That was a little joke. I just ride for fun. Well, you see my videos, you know how I ride. Okay, that's easy. Put those two in. Take the third one. When it comes to adjusting the headlight, I've always placed it as far up as I could get it. So it's shining the farthest forward. But that's just going to depend on where you like your adjustment of your headlight. See, very, very basic, very simple. I'll adjust it later as I need it, so maybe I'll leave that a little bit loose, like that. Okay, easy. Next thing, take this plug, plug it into here. It's an identical match. All you have to do, plug it in, done. There's two pins here that go right into the fender. So make sure those are set in place, like so. Make sure your wires are tucked behind, and this rubber strap goes behind your shock. Try not to get any of your wires pinched. You're going to set the rubber in place. Take your brake and throttle cables, just kind of bend your shroud like that. You know, it's plastic, you're not going to break it. You do more damage to it riding the bike than you actually will trying to put your headlight on. Make sure nothing is being pulled. As you're putting this on, you have to be really careful because the headlight assembly itself is longer this way. So you have to move these wires right out of the way so they don't get pinched. Take your strap. Oop, hide that wire. Don't need that one. Take your strap. Pull it back. This is a little bit, not tricky, but this takes a little bit of finesse. There we go. Make sure it's tucked in proper. Little gap there as possible. Put the other one in. Pull that back. See if I can get a good angle here. Hard to see. It's a little bit tight, but that's because of the aluminum housing. Everything fits proper. You just have to watch where you put your wires. Okay, now that I've got this one back on, get rid of the grooves, the gaps. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. Power on, lights off. All right, there's the low beam. There's the high beam. A nice dot right in the middle. I like it. Light back on. Okay. Beautiful. I love it. Oh, it's bright. Don't look at that. Okay, KTM fans, thank you very much for joining me on this install video from the LOYO LED 65 watt headlight for KTM. That thing looks sexy. I think I'm going to go out and try it out, go for a night ride or two. Anyway, I will leave a link in the description to where you can get one of these lights. I like it so much, I'm going to put one on my 690. Because that thing just looks sexy. Alright, thank you KTM fans. Go out, get an adventure, go have some fun, go get dirty. KTM out.